Oh, I thought his apology would heal me. But what happened next was unthinkable. My boyfriend admitted he thinks my sister is prettier than me. Best Reddit drama, family tales. My jealousy towards my sister was compounded when my boyfriend admitted he finds her prettier than me. Growing up in our family was like living in two different worlds under the same roof. Our house, a modest two-story home on the outskirts of a bustling city, was filled with the sounds of laughter, chatter, and the occasional sibling squabble. My parents, hardworking and loving, always did their best to provide for us. My father, an engineer, spent long hours at the office, while my mother, a nurse, often worked night shifts at the local hospital. Despite their busy schedules, they made time for family dinners, weekend outings, and holidays filled with warmth and joy. My name is Lily, and I am 24 years old. My sister, Emma, is 2 years older than me. From a young age, it was clear that Emma and I were different in many ways. Emma was the kind of child who turned heads wherever she went. With her tall, slender frame, cascading golden hair, and striking blue eyes, she could easily have been a child model. Her beauty was undeniable and magnetic, drawing attention and admiration from everyone she encountered. Even as a toddler, people would stop my mother in the grocery store to comment on how beautiful Emma was. I, on the other hand, was often described as cute. I had a petite build with curly brown hair that refused to be tamed and wide hazel eyes. While Emma's beauty was the kind that commanded attention, mine was more subdued, often overlooked in the shadow of her radiance. I didn't mind at first. I loved Emma dearly and took pride in her beauty and charm. Emma was outgoing, confident, and charismatic. She made friends easily and was always the center of attention at school and social gatherings. Her laughter was infectious, and her energy seemed boundless. Emma had a natural talent for making people feel special, and she thrived in social situations. I was more introverted and reserved. I enjoyed spending time with a close-knit group of friends and preferred quiet activities like reading, drawing, and exploring the outdoors. While Emma dazzled others with her charm, I found joy in the small, simple moments of life. I was content to observe and listen, often playing the role of the supportive sister who stood in the background, cheering Emma on from the sidelines. Despite our differences, Emma and I shared a close bond during our early childhood years. We would spend hours playing in the backyard, creating imaginary worlds and embarking on grand adventures. Emma was always the leader, inventing elaborate storylines and assigning roles, while I happily followed along, adding my own touches to our fantastical tales. Our parents did their best to treat us equally, showering us with love and support. However, as we grew older, the differences in how people perceived us became more pronounced. At family gatherings, relatives would gush over Emma's beauty, often overlooking me in their admiration. Teachers at school would comment on Emma's potential to become a model or actress, while my achievements in academics and art were noted but not celebrated with the same enthusiasm. One of my earliest memories of feeling overshadowed by Emma's beauty occurred when I was 6 years old. It was Emma's 8th birthday, and our parents had thrown a big party to celebrate. The house was filled with family and friends, laughter and music echoing through the rooms. Emma wore a beautiful pink dress with a matching bow in her hair, looking like a princess from a fairy tale. I wore a simple blue dress, feeling pretty but plain next to Emma's dazzling appearance. As the guests arrived, they flocked to Emma, showering her with compliments and gifts. "You look like a little princess, Emma," they would exclaim. "You're going to break so many hearts when you grow up." Meanwhile, I stood nearby, smiling politely, waiting for someone to notice me. A few guests did, offering kind but brief comments like, "Lily, you look too." But the focus was always on Emma. I remember feeling a pang of jealousy that day, a confusing and unwelcome emotion that I didn't fully understand at the time. I loved Emma and wanted her to be happy, but I couldn't help but feel invisible in her shadow. It was a feeling that would follow me throughout my childhood and into my teenage years, growing stronger with each passing year. Family outings were another reminder of the differences in how we were perceived. Whether we were at the park, the zoo, or on a beach vacation, Emma always drew admiring glances and comments from strangers. "What a beautiful child," they would say to my parents. "She should be in movies." My parents would smile proudly and thank them, while I stood quietly by their side, wishing for a fraction of the attention Emma received. The first day of elementary school was a milestone for both Emma and me. Emma, with her natural charisma and stunning looks, was immediately popular. She made friends effortlessly, her laughter and charm drawing others to her like a magnet. I admired her ability to connect with people and often found myself standing quietly by her side, watching as she navigated the social landscape with ease. Emma's popularity grew quickly. She was invited to every birthday party, chosen first for group activities, and always had someone to sit with at lunch. I, on the other hand, struggled to fit in. Making friends didn't come naturally to me. I was shy, preferring the company of a good book to the noise of the playground. While Emma thrived in the social environment of school, I often felt like an outsider looking in. In the classroom, the differences between us were equally apparent. Teachers adored Emma. They praised her participation, her enthusiasm, and her ability to brighten the room with her presence. "Emma, you're such a delight," they would say. "Your smile just lights up the classroom." I couldn't help but notice that their praise for me was more subdued. "Lily, you did well on your spelling test," they would say, their tone lacking the same warmth and excitement. As the school year progressed, several significant events highlighted the growing gap between Emma and me. One such event was the annual school talent show. Emma decided to perform a dance routine, and she practiced diligently every day after school. Our parents were thrilled and supportive, attending every practice session and offering words of encouragement. When the night of the talent show arrived, the auditorium was packed with students, parents, and teachers. Emma took the stage in a sparkling costume, her confidence radiating through the room. She performed flawlessly, her movements graceful and captivating. The audience erupted in applause, and I felt a surge of pride for my sister. But as the cheers grew louder, so did the pang of jealousy in my heart. Later that evening, as we gathered in the school gymnasium for refreshments, Emma was surrounded by admirers. "Emma, you were amazing! You should be a professional dancer!" The compliments flowed freely, and I watched from the sidelines, feeling small and insignificant. No one seemed to notice my presence, and I couldn't shake the feeling of being overshadowed. One particular family gathering stands out in my memory. It was Thanksgiving, and our house was filled with the delicious aroma of roasted turkey and pumpkin pie. Relatives had traveled from near and far to join us, and the dining room buzzed with conversation and laughter. Emma, dressed in a stylish outfit that accentuated her beauty, was the center of attention, as usual. As we gathered around the dinner table, our Aunt Margaret turned to Emma and said, "Emma, darling, you're looking more stunning than ever. You should be on the cover of a magazine." Everyone nodded in agreement, their eyes fixed on Emma. I felt a familiar knot tighten in my stomach. "And Lily, how are you doing in school?" Aunt Margaret added, almost as an afterthought. I forced a smile and replied, "I'm doing well, thank you." But the words felt hollow, and the conversation quickly shifted back to Emma. As the evening wore on, I found myself retreating to a quiet corner, unable to shake the growing sense of jealousy and inadequacy. I attended a liberal arts college that offered excellent programs in both fields, while Emma's world was filled with glitz and glamour. Mine was more subdued, but equally fulfilling. I looked forward to immersing myself in my studies, exploring new ideas, and honing my creative skills. The first day of college was a mix of excitement and nervousness. The campus was buzzing with energy as students moved into their dorms and attended orientation events. I felt a sense of independence and freedom that I hadn't experienced before. My dorm room was small but cozy, decorated with posters of famous paintings and stacks of books. It was my own little sanctuary where I could escape into my world of creativity. College life was a transformative experience for me. I quickly immersed myself in my classes, eager to learn and grow. The professors were passionate and knowledgeable, and I found myself inspired by their teachings. My art classes allowed me to experiment with different mediums and techniques, while my literature courses opened my mind to new perspectives and ideas. I also developed close friendships with my fellow students. We bonded over late-night study sessions, shared interests, and the ups and downs of college life. My roommate, Sarah, was a kind and supportive friend who shared my love for art. We often spent hours in the art studio working on our projects and discussing our dreams and aspirations. One of the most significant aspects of my college experience was meeting Mark. We met during our sophomore year in a creative writing class. Mark was an English major with a passion for poetry and storytelling. He had a quiet, introspective demeanor that drew me in, and we quickly became friends. Our friendship blossomed into a romantic relationship, and soon we were inseparable. Mark was a constant source of support and encouragement. He appreciated my artistic talents and often attended my gallery showings and readings. We spent countless hours discussing literature, art, and our future aspirations. Mark's gentle nature and thoughtful insights helped me gain confidence in myself and my abilities. Our relationship continued to grow, and I found myself falling deeply in love with him. Mark's presence in my life was a calming influence, and he helped me navigate the challenges of college with grace and resilience. With him by my side, I felt more confident and capable than ever before. While my college years were filled with personal growth and new experiences, my relationship with Emma became more strained. Her mother's modeling and acting career had taken off, and she was living a glamorous life that seemed worlds apart from mine. Emma's success brought her fame and recognition, and she often appeared in magazines and on television. She attended red carpet events, mingled with celebrities, and traveled to exotic locations for photo shoots. Despite our different paths, Emma and I stayed in touch. She would occasionally visit me at college, bringing with her a whirlwind of excitement and glamour. During her visits, she would regale me with stories of her adventures, describing the luxurious parties, the famous people she had met, and the exciting projects she was working on. While I was genuinely happy for her, these visits also brought up old insecurities for me. One particular visit stands out in my memory. Emma had just returned from a photo shoot in Paris and decided to surprise me with a visit. She arrived on campus in a sleek car, dressed in designer clothes and carrying a suitcase full of gifts. As we walked through the campus, students turned their heads to look at her, captivated by her beauty and presence. "Paris was incredible, Lily," she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "The Eiffel Tower, the fashion shows, the food, everything was just perfect. And guess what? I met a famous director who wants to cast me in his next film." "That's amazing, Emma," I replied, trying to sound enthusiastic. "I'm really happy for you." As we continued our walk, Emma's stories of her glamorous life filled the air. I couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy and inadequacy. While Emma was living a life of excitement and adventure, I was focused on my studies and navigating the challenges of college. It was hard not to compare our lives and feel like I was falling short. That evening, as we sat in my dorm room, Emma noticed the stack of books and art supplies on my desk. "You always were the creative one, Lily," she said with a smile. "I wish I had your talent for art." I appreciated her compliment, but it didn't fully alleviate my feelings of insecurity. Despite my achievements and the personal growth I had experienced in college, I still struggled with the constant comparisons to Emma. It was a lingering shadow that I couldn't quite escape. As the years went by, I continued to focus on my studies and my relationship with Mark. I knew that I needed to find my own identity and create a life that was true to myself. College was an opportunity for me to explore my passions and develop my skills, and I was determined to make the most of it. One of the most rewarding experiences of my college years was participating in a study abroad program. I spent a semester in Italy, immersing myself in the rich culture and history of the country. The experience was transformative, allowing me to gain new perspectives and deepen my understanding of art and literature. I visited famous museums, studied the works of Renaissance masters, and filled my sketchbook with drawings of the beautiful landscapes and architecture. Italy also provided a sense of independence and self-discovery, away from the familiar environment of home and college. I had the opportunity to reflect on my life and my aspirations. I realized that I didn't need to compare myself to Emma or anyone else. My worth wasn't defined by external validation or recognition, but by my own efforts and passions. When I returned from Italy, I felt a renewed sense of purpose and confidence. I threw myself into my final year of college, determined to make the most of my remaining time. I completed my senior thesis, a collection of paintings and essays that explored the intersection of art and literature. The project was a culmination of my years of study and personal growth, and it received high praise from my professors. As graduation approached, Emma decided to visit me once again. She had just finished filming her first major movie and was excited to share the news with me. Her arrival brought a mix of emotions: happiness to see my sister, but also a sense of dread about the inevitable comparisons. Emma arrived on campus with her usual flair, instantly attracting attention wherever she went. Her presence was magnetic, drawing eyes and admiration as she moved through the crowd with grace and confidence. We spent the day catching up, and she shared vibrant stories of her experiences on set, the interesting people she had met, and the exciting opportunities that lay ahead. I listened intently, a mix of admiration and envy swirling within me, struggling to reconcile my complex feelings. That evening, we attended a small gathering with some of my friends. The atmosphere was lively, filled with chatter and laughter as we mingled. I couldn't help but notice the way people gravitated towards Emma, captivated by her effortless charm and stunning beauty. She seemed to shine even brighter in social settings, her laughter infectious and her stories enthralling everyone around her. Despite the twinge of jealousy I felt, I found comfort in having Mark by my side. His presence grounded me, offering a reassuring contrast to Emma's dazzling allure. As the night wore on, I appreciated Mark's steady support. His quiet strength provided a sense of stability amidst the whirlwind of Emma's charisma. From the moment I met Mark, our relationship felt like something out of a beautifully written novel. We met during our sophomore year in a creative writing class, and it didn't take long for me to be drawn to his quiet, introspective nature. Mark had a passion for poetry and storytelling, and his gentle demeanor and thoughtful insights quickly captured my heart. Our friendship began with long conversations after class. We would sit in the campus cafe, sipping on coffee and discussing our favorite books, authors, and the themes that resonated most with us. Mark's love for poetry was evident in the way he spoke, his words carefully chosen and imbued with a depth of meaning. I found myself looking forward to these moments, cherishing the time we spent together. One crisp autumn afternoon, Mark invited me to a poetry reading at a local bookstore. The intimate setting, with its dim lighting and the faint scent of old books, created a cozy atmosphere as we listened to the poets recite their works. I felt a sense of connection and understanding with Mark that I had never experienced before. After the reading, we walked through the city streets, the leaves crunching under our feet, and talked about our dreams and aspirations. It was during this walk that Mark shyly admitted his feelings for me, and I realized that I felt the same way. Our relationship blossomed from there. Mark's presence in my life was a calming influence, and he helped me navigate the challenges of college with grace and resilience. We spent countless hours together studying, attending art exhibits, and exploring the city. Mark's support and encouragement were unwavering. He often attended my gallery showings and readings, always the first to offer a kind word or a thoughtful critique. One of my favorite memories from those early days was a spontaneous road trip we took during spring break. We decided to visit a small coastal town known for its picturesque beaches and vibrant art scene. The drive was filled with laughter and music as we sang along to our favorite songs and shared stories from our childhoods. When we arrived, we spent our days wandering through art galleries, collecting seashells on the beach, and watching the sunset over the ocean. In the evenings, we would sit on the balcony of our little beach cottage, wrapped in blankets, and talk for hours under the stars. It was during this trip that I realized just how deeply I had fallen in love with Mark. Mark had a way of making me feel truly seen and appreciated. The reaction was immediate and predictable. They were all in awe, commenting on how stunning she looked. "She's gorgeous! Wow, she could be a supermodel. No wonder she's in the industry." I felt a knot tighten in my stomach, my heart sinking. The evening, which had started so beautifully, now felt tainted. Mark's comment and the subsequent admiration for Emma's photos made me feel small and insignificant. I forced a smile, trying to hide my discomfort, but inside, I was reeling. As the night continued, I couldn't shake the feeling of humiliation that washed over me. Mark's words echoed in my mind, a harsh reminder of the insecurities I had battled for so long, the constant comparisons to Emma, the feeling of being overshadowed. It all came rushing back in that moment. I tried to engage in the conversation, but my mind was elsewhere. I felt a growing sense of resentment and hurt. It wasn't just about the comment itself, but the realization that even my own boyfriend seemed to find Emma more attractive than me. It was a painful confirmation of my deepest fears. Mark, seemingly oblivious to my distress, continued to laugh and chat with his friends. I watched him, feeling a mixture of anger and sadness. How could he not see how much his comment had hurt me? How could he not understand the weight of his words? Eventually, I excused myself and went inside, needing a moment to collect my thoughts. I stood in the kitchen, staring out the window at the darkening lake, feeling tears prick at the corners of my eyes. The evening, which was supposed to be a joyous celebration, had turned into a painful reminder of my insecurities and the constant comparisons I couldn't escape. When the gathering finally wound down and Mark and I headed to bed, the silence between us was heavy. As we lay in the darkness, I couldn't hold back any longer. "Mark," I began, my voice trembling, "why did you say that about Emma tonight?" He turned to face me, confusion written across his face. "What do you mean?" "You said, if everyone thinks I'm pretty, they should see my sister," I explained, my voice breaking. "Then you showed them her photos. Do you have any idea how that made me feel?" Realization dawned on his face, and he reached out to take my hand. "Lily, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it like that. But that's how it felt," I said, pulling my hand away. "It felt like you were saying she's more beautiful than me, like I'm not enough. And in front of all your friends, it was humiliating." Mark's expression softened, and he looked genuinely remorseful. "I didn't think about it that way. I was just trying to show them how amazing your family is. I'm really sorry, Lily. You know I love you and think you're beautiful." His words, though sincere, did little to ease the pain. The damage had been done, and I couldn't simply brush it off. "It's not just about tonight," I said quietly. "It's about always being compared to Emma. I thought you understood how hard that is for me." "I do understand," Mark insisted. "I was just being stupid, careless. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to hurt you." I wanted to believe him, to let go of the hurt and move on. But the comment had struck a deep nerve. It wasn't something I could easily forget. "I need some time," I said finally. "I need to process this." Mark nodded, his eyes filled with regret. "Take all the time you need, Lily. I'll be here when you're ready to talk." The days following the outing were difficult. The comment replayed in my mind, a constant reminder of my insecurities. I found myself avoiding social media, not wanting to see Emma's photos and the flood of admiration they always garnered. I distanced myself from Mark, needing space to sort through my feelings. Mark tried to make amends in various ways, leaving me sweet notes, planning thoughtful gestures, and repeatedly apologizing. While I appreciated his efforts, the wound was still fresh, and I struggled to move past it. I confided in my close friends, seeking their perspective and support. They were understanding and empathetic, reassuring me of my worth and beauty. "Lily, you're an incredible person," Sarah, my best friend, said one afternoon over coffee. "Mark loves you for who you are. He made a mistake, but that doesn't change how amazing you are." Their words were comforting, but the internal struggle remained. I can't escape the constant comparisons to her, and I don't think I ever will. It's exhausting. How do I overcome these insecurities? As I reflected on my journey and the experiences that had shaped my relationship with Mark, I found myself drawn to the comments and perspectives shared by others who had heard my story. These insights, coming from an external point of view, provided a fresh lens through which I could see my situation more clearly. It was as if they were holding up a mirror, allowing me to confront the realities I had been avoiding. Here are some of those reflections. One commenter noted, "36 is too old for that kind of foot-and-mouth syndrome with a partner, even if alcohol is involved. Not only is he too old to not know better, but it's not even a foot-and-mouth situation. He didn't just casually acknowledge that OP's sister was beautiful. He basically insulted his girlfriend and proceeded to show off her sister to his friends for their approval. If this is the way he acts in front of his girlfriend, one can only imagine what he acts like behind her back." This comment hit me hard. It underscored the gravity of Mark's actions and made me realize that his behavior was not just a careless mistake. It was a deeper issue of respect and understanding. At his age, Mark should have known better than to make such a hurtful comment, especially in a public setting. Another commenter wrote, "Now you know that, even if he didn't mean it like that, he certainly meant it enough to publicly show off your sister to impress his friends." Imagine what the future will be like with this guy. "Hey everybody, come check out this gorgeous woman I know. No, not my wife, her sister." He actually pulled out his phone to show off another woman at a meeting where he was introducing his girlfriend. "This one isn't the one, OP. I can assure you, the right one around the corner will be mortified when you tell him this story." This perspective made me envision a future filled with similar humiliations. The idea that Mark would prioritize impressing his friends over respecting my feelings was a sobering thought. It made me question whether I wanted to spend my life with someone who might continue to undermine my self-esteem. A third commenter shared their personal experience. "Leave him. I have a beautiful sister also. She is stunning and I am not. I'm cute, but my husband finds me beautiful and doesn't see the beauty of my sister. He has never compared me to her and never stared at her. He honestly doesn't get the hype of her, but tells me constantly how beautiful I am. You need to find a man like that. There is someone out there who will find you more beautiful than your sister, but it isn't the one you're with now. Leave him and find someone better." This heartfelt advice resonated deeply with me. It gave me hope that there was someone out there who would truly appreciate me for who I am, without making hurtful comparisons. The idea of being with someone who saw my unique beauty and valued me above all others was incredibly comforting. These comments and reflections were eye-opening. They forced me to confront some difficult truths about my relationship with Mark. While his efforts to apologize and make amends were sincere, the underlying issues of respect and understanding remained unresolved. It became clear that I needed to reevaluate what I wanted and deserved in a relationship. The story narrates a journey fraught with insecurities, emotional turmoil, and ultimately, self-discovery. At its core lies a poignant lesson about the importance of self-acceptance and recognizing one's intrinsic worth. The protagonist, Lily, grapples with a lifetime of comparison to her stunning sister Emma. From childhood to adulthood, she feels overshadowed by Emma's beauty, leading to deep-seated feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. However, as the story unfolds, Lily embarks on a journey of self-exploration and growth. Guided by the support of her friends and the insights gained through therapy, Lily begins to embrace her individuality. The narrative underscores the importance of mutual respect and empathy in relationships. Mark's failure to consider the implications of his words, demonstrates a lack of sensitivity and understanding toward Lily's feelings. This serves as a poignant reminder that respect is not just about avoiding deliberate acts of harm, but also about acknowledging and honoring a partner's vulnerabilities. Lily's decision to address the issue directly with Mark underscores the significance of open communication in fostering healthy relationships. Moreover, the story highlights the transformative power of self-awareness and personal growth. Lily's journey toward self-acceptance is not without its challenges, but it is through confronting her insecurities head-on that she begins to reclaim her sense of self-worth. With the support of her friends, Lily learns to embrace her individuality and celebrate her unique qualities. The narrative also underscores the importance of surrounding oneself with a supportive network of friends and loved ones. Lily's friends serve as a source of strength and encouragement, offering empathy and understanding during her moments of vulnerability. Their unwavering support empowers Lily to confront her insecurities and make decisions that prioritize her emotional well-being. Ultimately, the story culminates in a powerful realization about the necessity of setting boundaries and prioritizing self-care. Lily's decision to end her relationship with Mark symbolizes a turning point in her journey toward self-empowerment. In conclusion, the story encapsulates a profound lesson about the importance of self-acceptance, respect in relationships, open communication, the support of loved ones, and the necessity of setting boundaries. Through Lily's journey, we are reminded of the transformative power of introspection, empathy, and human connection in navigating life's challenges and embracing our true selves. It is through confronting our insecurities with courage and compassion that we can ultimately find the strength to live authentically and pursue happiness on our own terms. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.